pleasure introducing one of the hypest, most talented, most successful people, believers. Give it up for Miss Kierra Sheard, please. She has a venture that she's doing, and she's gonna start us off with it right now.
Sure. Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing? Good. I'm sorry. I'm a joyous person. I'm excited because I believe in myself, and I believe that stuff is about to go and pop off. So this is success cycles, right? So I have this energy that is just necessary for the journey. But here is a declaration that I share with my youth and young adults today. I am also a believer, and I want to thank you for the platform, the opportunity to be a part of this. It's quite inspiring, especially after hearing all of you. But it's basically just a declaration. So for a long time, I was going through an experience, and I kept having like these lies that kept coming to me, and I was really believing them because I was in the waiting cycle. It wasn't the success cycle at that moment. It was just wait. And I started kind of just feeling like I was defeated, like it wasn't going to happen. I didn't feel like things were going to, I know I saw the dream, I saw the vision, I knew that I had the resources, the solutions, but I just didn't know if it was going to work. So I had to practice what, as a woman of faith, what I believe, and that is to speak things into your life, not waiting for anyone else to speak into you, not waiting for nobody to give me a hug and pat me on the shoulder and say, God bless you, God is with you. No, I started being a little bit more direct and focused with what I wanted, and I started speaking over my life. And so I just wanted to share this with you. It's a declaration, and it's literally me decreeing and declaring the things that I will have and the things that will not have me. So hopefully this will inspire you, and I just kind of write notes while I'm decreeing and declaring over it. Of course, you see leader and congregation in unison, but it's definitely saying speak what you know. If you're a believer, if you have faith, speak what it is, use your power, use your authority. Because though we're in success cycles, sometimes we can get distracted and become overwhelmed with the circumstance. I don't know if you all seen the graph, but it says when you're in this entrepreneur, this business person, you have some really good days and you have some really low days. And it's just, sometimes it's just ourselves that gets us back up like, oh, I got to do this. And so I hope that this will encourage you. That's all it is.
I want to start the conversation off by asking a simple question to anyone here. Why do relationships fail? Keith, why do relationships fail?
I guess I would say it depends on the mentality and the perspective that we enter into the relationship with. Mm-hmm. I've been in a relationship where we weren't on the same page. We came from, I've been into this book called The Four Agreements, and it talks about domestication and all of that. And so it helped me to kind of understand the perspective. So I was coming from, oh no, divorce is not an option. And I was dating somebody else, and they were like, no, if it don't work, we just gonna just take a break. No, we fight through this. We communicate, and then also I think a compromise is necessary in a relationship, and understanding that you're not just coming into a relationship with just that person, but you're coming with their background, who raised them, all of that. So I think that is the understanding that we have to enter the relationship. Was that the question? So I'm one of them homegirls that just start rambling, and y'all have to be like, well, hold on. So get
that
me
was
if
good.
You need to.
We're going to talk about, do you agree that who you are as a person will affect you and how you are as a professional? And in what ways can that be problematic, Kate?
Absolutely. Speaking to the point of you saying, I got to make sure I'm connected to the right people, I would speak to purpose compatibility. Like my relationships have to make sense with
purpose compatibility.
Yeah.
I love it.
It has to make sense. Like if I'm connected to you, why are we connected? So literally.
Purpose compatibility.
Yeah.
Write it down, please. Go ahead.
So in this space in my life, I literally have been just looking at everything that I do to make sure it's worth my time. Because time is like money for me. So right now I have to make sure if I'm going to the mall, okay, am I going to the mall to spend time with you, and where are you in my life? Why am I spending time with you? It's not just always what can I get out of this, but to a degree it kind of is. What can I get out of it? But purpose, compatibility, and then not just that, but also I would speak to why it's necessary to make sure you have the right relationships around, because when you're living in purpose and not being driven by your feelings, then you're able to kind of make sure I'm not exasperated from this vibe or this energy that is around me that I'm not paying attention to. So I should be able to be in a room and I should be able to rock with who I call friend and not feel like I have to give these extra explanations for my schedule. Does this make sense? So I'll give an example, because we said we can talk.
Yes.
I was out to eat the other day, and I was there with my brother and my sister, Ryan and Danielle. And there are some friends of mine, which y'all know how when we were in high school, when we was growing up, we started saying, oh, that's just my associate. That ain't my friend. We had a different, we compartmentalized people. And so one thing that I noticed is that while I was sitting there talking, they were going back and forth with me saying, you flaky, you don't come to every event and blah, 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 blah. But I literally get on and off of planes. That is draining, that right there. And then I sing to 100 people. I'll go to 1,000 people. I'll go to 5,000 people. So that's literally me pouring one person, giving all that I have to a crowd of people, and then I got to find time for myself while I, at success cycles, I'm picking myself apart. Did I do okay? Did I look good? I don't always travel with a stylist. I put this ponytail in this, so I have to make sure, what do I look like? Because now everybody is, into content. I'm recording myself. But I had a conversation, and it was draining because they were like, and it's like, Ryan was like, they don't understand. As soon as he said that, I was like, there it is right there. I need people around me who understand my purpose in the earth. If you don't get me, if you don't get what I'm doing, what I'm supposed to do, then I'll always have to give you an explanation of why I couldn't make it to your event. And it's simply because I'm tired. I'm tired, and I need and you should want me to have the energy that I need to fulfill my purpose. And so then not only that, but through my week, I was noticing, because I didn't have my road manager on the road with me, so I was dealing directly with the sponsor. And the sponsor walked up to me and said, I'm not happy with you. Now, usually that's why we have the middleman, because I didn't want him to see that side of me where it's like, what? Did you just say that to me? Because then he would have said, oh, she stuck up. But you don't say that. First of all, you don't just say that like that. I don't know about you, but y'all seem like y'all okay with it. But I wasn't okay with it. But having that conversation, though I kept a paper trail, speaking of success cycles, we still talking about business too. But I kept a paper trail, and I pulled out the receipts. Pulled out the receipts. This is what we said. This is what we laid out. And you did not stick up to your end of the bargain or hold up your end of the bargain. But that conversation was exasperating. And right after that, I had to sing and make sure that I was creatively in the space that I needed to be. And then not just that, I was in another conversation. So I'm laying all of this out because I was in another conversation, and we were just talking about things. He said, you only see things from your perspective. So it turned into an attack instead of a healthy conversation and actually trying to find solution. Does it make sense? And so I tried to explain to her the reason why I isolate myself from you. I posted something the other day and said, I don't get mad, I just get distant. But the reason I isolate myself and I don't want you around is because you want to go over the same things over and over and over again. But I'm a believer, I'm a woman of faith. Let's move forward. Let's deal with it and move forward, because a part of my purpose, I have to keep moving forward. The world, the society, the people that I'm called to, the demographic, they move fast. So I don't have time to stay here with you. And if I'm staying here with you right now, it already tells me that it's an expiration date to this relationship, because what's going to happen when I get married? I really ain't going to have time for you. You know what I'm saying? So that was a long answer.
That was good.
But I was exhausted, and I noticed that when it was time for me to actually be in purpose and sing, when I have to sing, I'll get hoarse, and it's not just from me singing over and over again. It'll be from me being tired. So I literally, and not to be too spiritual, but the Lord was dealing with me. He helped me to see why you're tired. And it was because physically I wasn't warring. Spiritually I was warring. And literally the other person that I was talking to, their soul was pulling something from me that they could not explain. So it's so important that I just really evaluate who's around me, because I'm a creative person. I need all my emotions, everything. And sometimes I can be all over the place. So the other side of me has to say, all right, Key, focus, But because I'm here with this person, I'm just completely distracted. I don't have time to be exasperated. You get what I'm saying? Like, I need it. And then I don't like, excuse me, I don't like working out like I should, but I'm getting better. So I will. But that was a long answer. But you spoke, when you asked that question, it just happened to me. Sorry.
I love it. So can you please touch a little bit more on purpose compatibility?
Sure. I would like to speak to the stability thing. I think society kind of challenges us or has us to feel like being an entrepreneur, I don't have no CEO, it's just me. But actually, the people is our CEO. Right. And one thing that has challenged me is to make sure I keep a humble perspective and to also consider, in order for you to have healthy consumer retention, it's important for you to hear what they're saying. And they also look at your stability. Like, is what you're putting out there, your content, is it consistent? So it's not just the CEO that's looking for it, but it's for the customer retention is what I meant to say. So that was one other thing that I would speak to. And then what else am I supposed to speak to?
Purpose compatibility, please.
Purpose compatibility. So
Jesus.
The other thing is, while Doc was telling us about communicating effectively, what if we're in a relationship and we communicate effectively, but they don't know how to just hear what we're saying? Can you hear?
How to hear effectively.
So being a good listener also complements the good communicator, right?
Good.
And so if I tell you, and if I've been integral, you may be so used to dysfunction that you don't even know when you're actually in something that's solid.
Wow.
And so that was something that I had to kind of
realize. Talk slower, please. Talk slower.
First of all, I'm nervous while I'm up here, so that's why I'm like, let me get that.
Good God.
But
you may be so used to dysfunction, you don't know when you're in something that's solid.
Yeah.
You're so used to dysfunction that you don't know when you're in something.
Whoa.
My God.
So that was the one thing. Thank you for the encouragement, Q.
That was good. That was good. If you've ever experienced that, raise your hand.
Sure.
God bless you. God bless you.
But sometimes it can be a struggle, and then it goes back to being draining. So when I was reading something the other day, and I've been saying it a lot lately, and it's to be able to identify what relationships are drains and fountains. So I started getting relationships that were drains confused with fountains.
Wow.
Because you know how sometimes a drain can get clogged up, and it'll just have the same content, so it'll feel like it's fulfilling.
Come on,
but it's just the same stuff. It's not really growing. It's nothing fresh, right? Excuse me. But the fountain gives you something fresh. And so one thing that I just had to learn is the purpose compatibility piece. And sometimes the relationship could just be easy breezy. But is it pushing you into destiny? Is it pushing you into purpose?
Wow.
Do you have challenging conversations, or are they just surface conversations?
Wow.
Is it a conversation that causes you to go deeper, or is it a conversation that kind of challenges your integrity?
Wow.
Like, no, you should reconsider what you just said. Try something else. And so when I say purpose compatibility, I look at the unit that my parents have shown us. I look at them, they've been married now for I think over 20 years.
Wow.
Then I look at my grandparents, and my grandmother, she can talk, if you know what I mean. And my grandfather is more like, chill. But when he gets to his point, it's like, all right now. But I'm the same way. I have a lot to say. So I know when it's time for me to be in a relationship, I'm going to need somebody that's going to say, hey, nah, hush your mouth. But I'm going to have to believe the hush your mouth.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think purpose compatibility, that is going to also help me in destiny, because if I'm in a boardroom, I got to now have who's on my team in the back of my mind, in my conscious, saying, hold up, wait. So it kind of just adds to who you are. So that's what I would say purpose compatibility is, when you complement each other, when it's not an asset. Thank you, bro. When it's not an asset, okay then. When it's not a liability and it is an asset.
Love it.
Is what I'm trying to say. There's so many other things that I could say, but too, where it just doesn't feel like it's just you. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, I was just feeling like it was just me. Now I'm in refreshing relationships where, like Doc said, we communicate. We got an issue. All right, let's hash it out.
Right.
And speaking back to that other situation, I done broke my stuff now. But speaking to my other situation, not to go on, but it's some explanations that I don't have to give.
Wow.
That's just something that I've had to consider. It's just some things that I don't have to give. Like we say, I want to improve in communication, but some of the extra explaining is wasting my time because you don't contribute to my purpose.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
I get it.
I'm growing as a communicator. I'm growing as a listener. But are you on my lifespan? Are you supposed to be here, or am I supposed to be honoring an expiration date?
Wow.
But also going hard for those who go hard for me, loving them hard, loving them back to life, and doing this. So it becomes a cycle, but a healthy cycle.
Yep.
We create damnable cycles. Excuse me if you let me say that. It's not a curse word, but you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
But we create cycles that jack us up for the future, and then I can't pour into my children.
Wow.
Because now I've learned a behavior from this this destructive cycle. Thank you. So there it is. That's enough. Shut up, Keith.